I'm sure it's
Sure.
a busy day for you with talking about this film, and I had so much fun watching it. And I often think that this kind of best friend role is one of the funniest, most rewarding you can have. You always get the best lines. So was that a big appeal to you when it came to this project?
Yeah, I mean, Amy called me sort of like a couple nights before they started shooting because she lost, like, I think her one of her actual best friends, Mary McCormick, was supposed to play the part and she had to bow out for personal reasons. And we had just worked together, Amy and I. And so I was like, yeah, of course, I'll do anything with you. I loved her. And we had created this chemistry. We were playing really good friends in the other job that we did. So I was so excited to do it. Even before I read it, I said yes. And then it was just funny. And she's so easy to work with. Like she's really talented. I mean, she's the writer, director, and starring in it. But like you kind of wouldn't know that it was her first one and that there was, a tiny budget and so much pressure because she just was like, this is great. I'm having the most fun. It was beautiful. We had an incredible crew, incredible production stuff. So yeah. And then she ended up being funny and I got to do a lot of whatever I wanted to do. And she would just laugh, be like, oh, happy, thank you, more, please.
Oh, that's awesome.
And yes, the best friend gets to be, I mean, they get to be, and she's raunchy, so you get to be
Yes.
raunchy and take it as far as you can.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Julie is a great character, and obviously you and Amy spend a lot of time together on screen, and she is your director as well as your co-star. So does that change the dynamic at all, and how much freedom you can kind of have with a character like Julie when you're bouncing back and forth with Amy on set?
Her being the director, I mean, obviously it changes the dynamic to a degree because she's not a fellow actor. There's another, there's a director. But when she's the director and she's like, I love what you're doing. And this is so fun. And like, I loved when you said that and that, and like, let's just, do that again or do that. She's just was, so you kind of know that you're with the creative person too, the one who's created the whole thing. So you feel even more, uh, like it just is even more kind of magic and fun because you know already. You don't have to wait until the take is over to kind of like wait for notes. It's like normally you'll sit there and you'll do it and then they'll kind of talk and they'll go, okay, we loved that. Da, 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 da. Right. She's right there and she's already laughing. You know what I mean? So it's really fun.
That's fantastic. And you said, Julie's quite a raunchy character. She comes in, she gets some great lines and some really great moments. But were there any scenes or any particular lines like that that you struggled to get through, particularly as I said, with that back and forth with Amy? It was just a tough day on set.
No, there was no tough days.
Hmm.
And a lot of it, like I think if there was something that didn't work, she was like, oh, just do whatever you want. So much of it was like there was a loose script, but then we came up with just a bunch of different things. And then Bradley Whitford was behind,
Yeah.
was watching the whole time. And so he would come in a couple times with some lines that were really funny. And so we got to, and then of course the scene like with me and Gabby Hoffman, like that was, that too was just like she's just asking me questions that are completely off the script. So we're just, creating this thing. And then you're always amazed when it ends up in the movie because there's a lot of just very silly stuff. And you're just hoping that the gods of the improv or the magic is there and you're there and you can receive it, you can get it, and you can just say it and let it come right out. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
fun.
for sure. And you've done some great comedies before, obviously, almost too many to mention. But when it comes to improvising, do you like that? Does it give you a little bit more freedom to find how to be funny on screen, or is it a balance with the script as well, would you say?
I would say like it runs the whole gamut because sometimes you can like I did a movie called I did a movie, one of the scary, not scary movie, but Haunted House 2 or something. And then
Yeah.
we would just improvise and they would never yell cut. And so then at that point, then there's sweat going down your back and you're like, this isn't really funny anymore. But, and it depends on who you're doing it with and like, um, and who's sort of, uh, guiding you through it. But I love it. I love to do, I've done a couple pilots where it was all improv. So you just have an idea of the script and someone will come in and throw you a few lines to say, but you have a beginning, middle, and an end. And that to me is really fun. And then when people are open to it, it's great. But sometimes you don't have people who are as open or just more stressed or scared. And Amy was just like ridiculously like open and present and happy to be there. So it made it easy.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know it's been almost a year since you first put with obviously the film
Right.
premiere and finally getting this release. Like critics have loved it, has had some great reviews so far. So how excited are you now for audiences to finally see this thing and just to get it out in the world?
I am so excited about this movie. This, when I saw it first at South by Southwest, you just never know. You just never know, especially with a movie with a budget like this and the time constraints. Are they going to be able to get everything? Is there a catastrophe somewhere that, does something have to get cut? It is so well done. It is so funny. And I watched it with a big group of people who laughed, guffawed the whole time. And I'm laughing, I'm crying from laughing. I just couldn't believe it. Amy and Bradley were sitting in front of me and I just kept touching them, being like, and then you have that moment between them where she's, just outside the hospital waiting room or whatever. And she's just like, it's just so magic. It's just so magical and beautiful. Like it's so rewarding. You get all that silliness and all the ridiculous things that happen. And then all of a sudden it ties up in such a beautiful way
Yeah,
that it's like, oh,
and it really feels
it's
like
nice.
romantic comedies making a bit of a
Yeah.
resurgence as well. They kind of vanished for a long time, which I think was a real
Yeah.
shame, but it must be great to be part of
Yeah.
one of those and almost this
Yeah.
resurgence of the genre as well.
It's fun to be like, it's also fun to be a part of like a coming of middle age story
Yeah.
for a woman. Men always get the second chance, but often women don't. So it's really fun to watch.
Yeah, amazing.
Amy's amazing.
Absolutely. And just while I've got you, Galaxy Quest is one I know you've talked about before. They're talking now
Yeah.
about a TV series. It seems there's always something percolating with maybe some sort of follow-up. So would you like to go back to that world? Have you heard anything?
Oh, and I would go back anytime. I mean, I don't know. You never know. Like I heard there was a dodgeball
Yeah.
remake being made. I mean, all I know is like in this business, I've been doing it for 30 years. Like there's so many like ups, downs, and this is gonna happen. Oh no, it's not that. Like I did a movie with the Trey Parker, Matt Stone, and Kendrick Lamar, and that was supposed to come out the beginning of the last year and then the middle of last year. And you just never know. So you have to just kind of say, like, thank you. I'm happy where I am. So glad I got to be a part of it. I'd love to be a part of it again. If not, just great. Good luck to everyone, but happy, thank you, more please, I think is kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, for sure. And just one final question for you. This obviously is an
Yeah.
independent film, got a phenomenal cast, even though it is a smaller film. How
Yeah.
important is it to you to support a project like this one and to get it out in the world, like, as you said, it finally is now after South by Southwest?
I think that this particular movie, I mean, again, like the budget is not large enough to like bombard the world with ads and billboards but it is so satisfying. It is so good. Like it is so worth seeing, and it's very important to see women like being the lead in a romantic comedy over the age of 30. So it's really cool, and I really hope that everyone will just immediately see it because it is so delightful and so funny. There's just so much joy in it and silliness.
Yeah, so well said. Well, Missy, thank you so much for your time. I cannot
Yeah,
wait for people to see you in this one and to see the
me
film because
too.
it is such a good time. So it's lovely speaking to you. Thank you.
Lovely to speak to you too, Josh. Have a good one.
Have a great day. Thanks so much for your time.
You too. You too.